Welcome to Lee Does Stuff. Today we're going to be replacing some pot lights on a ceiling, and here are the old pot lights. I'm replacing these because they only have room for one bulb, and it just needs more light, so we're going to have to do a two bulb setup. Here's everything we're going to need for this project. Got the new pot lights, where we'll have a double light inside, and I'll just crack open the box here, and we're going to get everything ready to go. I love to have everything organized and set up. Okay, before we do anything else, we have to cut the power. Here's a light switch. Realize that cutting the power from your light switch is not sufficient enough in wiring new pot lights up to a ceiling. You need to go to your breaker panel and you need to cut the power from the breaker panel source. See, I'm turning it off there. There's no more current going to those wires up to those pot lights. I turn it on from the panel, I turn it off, and we are good to go once you turn off the power from the control panel. All right, so let's get rid of the old pot lights. It's a pretty easy design on these pot lights. They all come off similarly. You just unscrew the bolts, and there's usually two screw holes as well. As you notice right here are the screw holes, and we just get to work on getting the old pot lights out. Lighting is very important in a place, and the one socket light pot light setup is just not enough. I cannot wait to get another light in there, so there'll be a two light setup, and it'll just be so much better for the lighting. Okay, now that you have those two bolts holding up your pot light, what's going to be holding up your pot light now is going to be this ground wire. I just let it go right there, and now we're just hanging on by your black wire and your white wire, and this is how we will be wiring our new lights up. But before we can do that, we have to untangle everything and clear the area to set up for our new pot light. I really don't recommend the enclosed pot lights where you can't unscrew the top and get to lights. The ones that are built in and claim they have a lifetime warranty are, in my opinion, a lot of crap. So always get ones where you can replace the light bulbs yourself. Okay, here we go. We got the mounting bracket here. You have to take off these mounting brackets because pot lights all come with their own mounting brackets. So it's important to get the old one off. There we go. And here is the new mounting bracket for our new pot light setup. And it's pretty easy. We're just going to line it up to these holes here. Now that we have the bracket all lined up, we want to basically just fasten it down. It's pretty easy, righty-tighty, and fasten those screws all the way down so that they're nice and snug. Now you see that hole in the middle of the bracket right there in the middle? They say that your wires should go through that hole, but it all depends on how long your wires are. My black wire and my white wire are not long enough, so I'm just putting them off to the side. It's not going to really matter once you get it all set up anyways, but just so you know, if you come into problems with that, well, sometimes you just have to find your own way around things. Okay, now let's grab the ground wire right here, and we're going to put the ground wire there, and you see the little green bolt, or the teal bolt, teal green. I just wrapped it around there and I fastened it, and now the light is hanging there from the ground wire. And once we have that fastened, now we can put the white wire with the white wire and the black wire with the black wire and screw them together in the little grommets. Never handle your new light bulbs on the glass part. Always hold it at the very base. And when you put your light bulbs up, you want to screw it with a napkin, but more on that later. So I did a test there. I went to my control panel and turned it on and see if all the wiring is working, and it is. Now that the test is complete, here are the two screws we're going to need to attach the housing to the ceiling, and we're going to be putting it right in those screw holes right there. Once you attach the screw holes, we're going to get our little centerpiece here, and this is what's going to hold the glass bowl to the housing. Now, every single one of us is going to have to adjust this little center bolt so that you're able to put the little nut on the bottom of the glass bowl, and you'll know what I mean in a sec. So I'm just screwing it in as far as I can, and then I'll be putting the light bulbs in. You'll notice that I'm screwing in the light bulbs with a napkin because the oils on our skin can really burn these light bulbs out quicker than they should. They'll last way longer if you don't touch them. So here we go. I'm going to grab the glass bowl and line it up for that little center piece there. And what I'm noticing right off the hop is that I don't have enough to screw the nut in to make sure it's all snug. So I just back off the center bolt and I'm lining it up, checking out it again. No, still not enough room. I can tell right now. And so I back it off a little bit more. And that's the beauty of these centerpieces, you know, they just have a lot of room to play. So I check out again and I'm thinking it's right, but no, not quite right. I'm not going to be able to snug that nut on tight enough. So I back off that center nut more, line up the bowl, and here we go. I think that is enough. So I grab the nut and I'm able to screw it nice and snug, get that glass bowl to the housing, and we will not have any problems or breakage because we lined everything up perfectly. Now that we got everything all buttoned up, let's do a test. Let's switch from the control panel and everything lights up. Both lights are working inside. The housing is snug and the project is complete. So you just have to repeat the process on the second pot light. It is going to be exactly the same. Good luck wiring your own lights, and thank you for tuning in.